And welcome everybody to this is the early lock here on Win Daily Sports. Adam, day one is in the books. Now it's on day two. I should say for us, day one for us is in the books. Day two is here. I'm Tony. This is Adam. As always, give us a follow at Win Daily Sports on all social formats. Sponsored by the Sharp app, your one-stop shop for everything sports betting. We get some props for profit. We're going to get you some gas cans, some aces of the slate, couple different slates today, some stacks. There were some postponements. They're going to go into today. But Adam, overall, what's your feel after the first couple days of baseball, man? You still excited?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a good couple days. We've been hitting some bets. We've been hitting some good things in the Discord as far as, building the lineups and construction and what we need to target. There's already been a bench clearing incident. Jose Barrios has taken more of my hard-earned money. Some things never change. So, dude couldn't even get out of the first inning tonight. But then the Jays come roaring back. Like, that's how good their offense is. They're done 7-0. As we're speaking right now, it's tied 7 apiece.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean,
that offense is terrifying.
It really is. 1 through 9 too. 1 through 9. It is. Speaking of offense, it's terrifying. You hear my voice. I was at the Phillies game today, or I should say yesterday, right? But I'll tell you what, man. The excitement. It was so fitting to see Schwarber hit a home run in his first at bat. Like, it was just like that right there set the tone, and it's exactly what this Phillies team is going to be. It's going to be some errors. It's going to be some lackluster pitching, but it's going to be some off the wall offense, right? I mean, it's exactly the way we thought. But Adam, numbers aren't picking up. Bryce Harper being completely disrespected in the prop market, which we'll get to later, which is going to be interesting. But let's get right into this. Let's get into the early stacks. Like, if you followed the show yesterday, make sure you're hitting that subscribe button, you're hitting the like button. If you're listening on podcast here, make sure that you're giving us a review, hitting that 5-star. Remember the 5-star, that's key, helps us get the support that we need. But Adam, get your early stack on early. We're talking Brew Crew and White Sox. The Brewers, we kind of touched on them yesterday. The game got postponed, so kind of much of the same, right?
Yeah, so real quick before we touch on the Brewers, we do have to shout out Jared, because not only did he touch on Schwarber, he called the exact pitch he was going to hit a home run on.
No, he didn't.
He did. It's in the article. He talked about how good Schwarber is against sinkers. Sure enough, 7th pitch of the at-bat, Montas throws him a sinker, bang, gone. So shout out to Jared, who did an incredible job on the Stacks article today. But yeah, we did touch on the Brewers yesterday. So we don't want to beat the dead horse and go completely what we talked about yesterday. But it's the same names we talked about. It's McCutchen, it's Adames, and at least like today, because that game didn't get postponed until 20 minutes before lock. This was a very chalky offense. I kind of fully expect it to be tomorrow as well. The only difference today is DK caught up to the pricing. Remember yesterday? How much was Crispin Yelich?
Yeah,
3,700, right? We were like, oh man, you got to play him. He's 5,200. These guys got a significant price increase, but that actually could help because nothing is different. It's the same matchup that we liked yesterday, but that could keep some of the chalk down off them. Depending on what the weather brings us in Chicago, man, that might really play to our favor because people are kind of unwilling to go with the price tags. There's kind of no reason you shouldn't. If you liked him yesterday, you should like him again today.
Yeah, I agree. It's a big jump, though. I'm so pissed right now.
It's a big jump.
Man, I thought we were getting over. That's one lesson, right? You don't get over on the books, right? Obviously.
Okay. Not more than one day at any rate.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. But yeah, listen, we talked about that yesterday. If you want to go back and you want to hear that as well, more than welcome. So again, make sure you're following the YouTube page of the podcast. We podcast every single one of these episodes. But the White Sox, another team underrated in my opinion when it comes to the bats. So talk about them for this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, listen, these guys are expensive. Unless you get to the back end of the lineup, they start to kind of calm down a little bit. Eloy Jimenez is only 4,200. You have some lefty sticks further down. And then even a guy like Jake Berger, who played 9th today, but still paid off his price. And, it's an easy piece to do the wraparound stack, 2,300, works with it, whatever else you want to do. Matt Manning has just not proven that he's a major league pitcher yet. He's a prospect of pedigree. These guys can always kind of turn it on at like, the flick of a switch, basically. But this is a tough lineup to face, man. And even in some shaky weather, this guy had a 5.80 ERA, a 1.51 WHIP last year. I'm not ready to disregard those numbers yet.
Oh, no. We are not disregarding those numbers. Hell no. But what we will put in high regard is on the ace of the day, which is right on the other end, okay, and Brandon Woodruff, right? We talked about him yesterday. I mean, it's the same thing. He's going to go out. He's going to be on fire, right?
I mean, he really should. We kind of focused a bit more on McClanahan just because of the salary. And then Woodruff came up $200. That's fine. On the face of things, he should be the ace of the slate. There's other guys that at least can compete with his upside. But if Woodruff is on, he should lead the slate in scoring pitching-wise. There's a couple guys that intrigue me. Dylan Cease, Miles Mikolas, Mitch Keller. We'll get into that in the article, but Woodruff definitely stands out just on the first glance of guys that, you really kind of need to anchor your pitching towards.
And then speaking of guys you want to attack, right? It's the same guy we talked about yesterday because of the games and the postponements, but Justin Steele is right back in that gas can early spot, correct?
Yeah, it's Steele and Manning. Justin Steele, the lefty that we wanted to attack yesterday, Matt Manning, over a 320 WOBA to each side of the plate, so the handedness really didn't matter to him. The xFIP was over 5 against both sides of the plate. I don't think we have to be too picky and choosy about, which bats we're using. Whatever fits for the White Sox is probably going to be one of the primary targets of the day.
Almost seems like a pattern if you're listening to us, right? And that's what's cool about it. Like when we were doing the NBA shows, we talked about specific teams, and we've always talked about like Charlotte. We want to attack Charlotte every time, right? You're attacking perimeter defense on certain teams, and this is going to be the same thing. You're gonna get to know us. You're gonna get to learn this just like we are about who you're going to attack and why. But also don't get discouraged. Let me throw that out there because there's going to be some nights where. Listen, all the analytics say what should happen, and it just doesn't happen, right? I mean, Adam, how many times we're going, what? Like, how did this guy just blow up, and all of a sudden this guy gets me a 10? Like, it just doesn't make any sense. So don't get discouraged. Keep pushing out. That's all I got to say.
And I think especially these first couple turns through the rotation with pitchers, not having the same prep time that they have had in the past, being a little bit on the shorter leashes, everything like that, it makes it more difficult to truly predict pitching, which is hard enough on a good day. Things like that are just going to add that, small layer of difficulty. I mean, you had Garrett Cole today saying his routine was thrown off. Buddy, it was a 4-minute delay between what was first pitch scheduled and what was actually first pitch. Okay. Like I completely understand pitchers need their routine. Everyone has their thing, but bro, come on. You've never pitched in a game that, didn't start exactly where you wanted it to. Come on, man.
Yeah, that's a little excessive. Okay,
that's a little ridiculous. If it's 20-minute wait time, I'll listen to you. 4 minutes, shut up.
Right. It's like all of a sudden I got to sit with a towel on your shoulder. Like, relax, man. It's like
you're okay.
Yeah, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. But it's a great point because it happened today in the Phillies game with Aaron Nola, and you saw that not because he was fatigued that he threw too many pitches because he was only at like 70, but it was just this is just coming from spring training into your first couple starts. It's not that your mindset isn't there. It's maybe your body's just not used to the reps. Like we're going to see that for the first few times. These pitchers may go 5 innings, right? Or 6 innings. It says a different Major League Baseball as well. I mean, Adam, the days that we used to sit here and watch these complete game shutouts, and I think they're over. Yeah, we're not seeing that anymore. There's a lot of these bullets.
Yeah, it takes a supreme effort to even get to like the 8th inning anymore. And it's not even necessarily like, oh man, he hit 65 pitches and he started getting blasted and giving up runs. But you still have seen, at least for the first couple of days, there is a decline in the sharpness around that pitch count for almost everybody. Like even if they're striking people out or they're pitching well, they get, past that 60 pitch range into the 70, 75, and all of a sudden it's, you got a 3-2 count on this guy. This guy's fouling off a bunch of pitches in a row. You've kind of noticed the pattern so far, and it's not really a surprise given that, most of these guys didn't have time to do the full stretch out that they're accustomed to most years.
Yeah, and again, we also talked about that this year is going to be a little different in the sense that there's going to be a tiny condensed schedule because we start at late, so they're not going to be as many days off, and there's going to be different start times because they're going to try to squeeze these doubleheaders in. So a lot of stuff that you're going to have to look into. And again, Adam's going to be a lot of value for us because there's going to be a lot of low level guys out there that are going to be pushed in the spot starts that normally wouldn't get the innings. So, but let's talk about the night end, and we'll go right to. I love how our get your stack on late. Obviously it's the Padres, and you're going to talk about them. But then I love how you say Coors Field. Like this is a Coors Field matchup, so I love that.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, any slate you have Coors Field on is a Coors Field slate because you have to make the judgment call. Are you going to go in on it? Are you going to beat the field? Are you going to go under the field? And some nights, it pays off and the game ends up 11-10. And then other nights you're like, I thought this game was a Coors Field. What the hell happened over here? And especially like at the start of the season, it's the first night game. That weather is going to be important. Is it cold? Is it 40 degrees? Is it snowing? Like anything's in play for Denver at this juncture of the season. So do I know exactly what I'm doing with Coors Field yet? No, I don't. I know there's some vulnerable pitchers there, Tony Gonsolin and Herman Marquez. Neither one of these guys are like elite pitchers. Marquez is good when he's out of Coors Field, and he's had success in Coors Field, but he's also had his issues in Coors Field, and it's still the Dodgers lineup. Like this is a top 3 lineup in baseball from top to bottom. So I'm not sure what I'm doing yet, but you are going to have to make that judgment call at some point. And then for the Padres, man, Zach Davies was just dude was rough last year. He was rough. Over a 350 WOBA to each side of the plate. Over a 430 xFIP to each side. Only a K rate of 15% the lefties, under 19% the righties. If you're not making the Padres miss bats, man, I know they're missing Tatis. This is still a lineup that can do some damage in a hurry.
Yeah, it can. They still listen. You talk about San Diego. You still have to face guys like Machado. You still got. Grisham had a really good year last year. You still got Hosmer in the lineup. You still got guys like a Cronenworth, right, that are going to smash the ball. Will Myers can still get up there and smash it with the best of them at times. So there's definitely some big time potential against Zach Davies.
They're super cheap. Machado's 48. Cronenworth is 41. Everyone else for the Padres is under 4K on DK.
Yeah,
that's great. I'm going to bet they're going to be a chalky offense tomorrow.
Yes, 100%. I could definitely see that. The price point hasn't caught up to them. Obviously, I don't know.
Oh my goodness! So I just clicked over to see what the Dodgers prices were just in comparison. Now remember, this is Coors Field. Guess how many Dodgers are over 5K?
Oh, I'm looking at it with you right now. So, but I'll say there's only 2.
There's only 2.
Freddie
what in the world?
4,800
against a pitcher who does not handle lefties well in Coors Field. Are you kidding me?
That's crazy.
Oh my goodness! I did not. So usually, a little peek behind the curtain. Usually, when I open a slate, I really focus on the pitching first. Because I'm writing the article, I'm laying things out, everything like that. I know like the offenses and things that I want to attack, but I usually don't look at the offensive pricing until a little bit further down the road. Oh my God, Dodgers just. I cannot believe DK priced him so low. That's insane.
I'm shocked.
Yeah, that might be worse than the Robbie Ray pricing for opening day.
Wow.
It honestly might be.
That's crazy.
That's incredible.
Wow.
So yeah, we're probably gonna have some Coors Field tomorrow.
Yes. That's okay. It's going to be fun. Listen, it's going to be fun.
It's what it is.
Yes, exactly. Now, again, we talked about the Padres when we talk about get your stack on, but your ace of the day on the late slate is Joe Musgrove.
Yeah, and I haven't done the full dive here yet, so maybe I unearthed something else that I kind of like. But just the first glance, normally it would be Justin Verlander. He's on the slate, but this is a guy coming off a major injury, a lot of miles on that arm. You're not getting much of a discount. He's 9,600, like maybe $1,000 discount to where he normally is. The Angels don't always strike out a ton, especially with who they have back in the lineup healthy this year. Rendon's a good hitter still.
Yep.
I'm not sure I'm going to be willing to pay 9,600 for Justin Verlander. And then Noah Syndergaard has pitched like 2 innings in 2 years, something like that. It'll probably be a lot of Musgrove and Bassett on DK because Bassett's only 8,000. That was a good pickup for the Mets, and they're going to need him to eat some innings.
Really good pickup. I said that earlier before the season started. I mean, that's obviously before DeGrom got hurt, but I was like, a lot of people are sleeping on this Mets rotation. I mean, you keep hearing Scherzer and DeGrom, but nobody's talking about Bassett. Like,
yeah, Bassett's a good pitcher.
He is a good pitcher. And guess what? Taijuan Walker can throw some heat too in the 4 spot. So, and I think their 5th is Carlos Carrasco. So
yeah, it's a good rotation when it's healthy, and that was our big fear was, okay, how long are they healthy? And it sadly, very sadly, didn't last long. So I'm not a Mets fan or anything, but I mean,
sorry, Jason.
I don't know. Unless you're a Phillies fan, how do you not like watching Jacob DeGrom, man? That dude's just fun to watch.
Even as a Phillies fan, I would.
As long as it's not the Phillies.
Exactly. But again, it's almost like even when he's playing, it's like you got to tip your cap, man. That dude is just
so good,
man. He's that good.
And I do have to point out, and again, didn't do the full deep dive. I'm really interested to see what this guy's about. Juan Adon is going to pitch for the Mets, or pitch for the Nationals against the Mets, excuse me. He's 4K flat for a pitcher on DK. I'm going to tell you something. So these first couple of days, we haven't seen big pitching scores yet, right? Because most guys just aren't going very far. Depending on what he looks like, I think Adon might be somewhat chalky. Because I think people are going to be willing to punt. Hope he gets you to that 10, 12 point threshold.
Yep.
You're only paying 4K for him. Like if your top end outcome is 20 points, but you're paying 86, 85, 9K, there's something to be said to just save the $5,000. Hope Adon doesn't get crushed. Gives you, 4 1/3, something like that. Even maybe 5 innings of just decent baseball. If he does that at 4K, I mean, look at how many hitters are more expensive than him.
That's a good point. And I'll tell you what, man, this kid, I'll tell you, he's got 4 pitch potential, and his last start struck out 9 in 5.1. Like,
and at least
and that was last year, last game of the season, but still,
right.
For 4K, I
one thing that stands out quick is his ground ball rate in the minors has been really good. Listen, at 4K, I don't need you striking out a ton of guys. I just need some outs. If you can generate ground balls, that can sometimes be a little bit easier to transfer up to the majors. I don't need you whipping 8, 9 people. Just get through 5 innings, strike me out like 3 guys, and give up like 1 or 2 runs. At 4K, you are sailing at that point.
Yep. Well, I agree. I like this a lot. I do. I really, really, really like this for 4K. I'm definitely going to look hard into this because these are the early jet, like you just said in the beginning of the show. You don't know first couple starts. Well, this is the adverse effect of that, right? You can take a nice shot at a young pitcher who's at the very, very, very minimal price, and he's home. So when you're young and you're home, that even helps better, right? So I like this. I like this a lot. Yeah,
he will be in the article one way or the other. We're going to be talking about him.
And make sure, again, as always, make sure you're on WindowDailySports.com. You get that article that drops every morning as well. Adam does a tremendous job with that. We got all kinds of baseball content up, so make sure you're checking that out. Let's go again. You already talked gas can late. We already know it's going to be Zach Davies. We talked about Zach earlier. I mean, I think it's obvious. But one thing for sure, we're doing really well when it comes to the prop market. Props for profit, hashtag props for profit. It's where we do some props on the show. And again, man, props, I love props. I'm going to play some music for us to get us right in the mood because this is where we kind of been. And we talked about this off air and the total base numbers and some of the RBI numbers. Seems like the books haven't caught up yet. Right, we talked about this, and I'm going to bring them right up because one for you right off the bat, and I was there and I watched them. I'm a Philly guy, but Bryce Harper over 1.5 total bases. Adam plus 130 you have for him, plus 130 for over 1.5 total bases. How was that so low?
Yeah, and for the record, this is on DK the night before, so I don't know what it's going to move to. maybe it's because there's a lefty on the mound. I don't know, but like, this is Bryce Harper, so I don't really care. There's an average lefty at that. It's not like this is like, some flamethrower. It's Cole Irvin. Harper was over 350 WOBA against lefties last year as it is. How long is he going to last against this Philly lineup? Four innings, maybe, then he's into the bullpen. This isn't even a matchup that you have to really worry about because I don't think he's going to be there that long. At plus 130 for literally 2 singles, a double, or anything in between, why am I not taking this?
This is a great number. Again, you're listening. Bryce Harper over 1.5 total bases. Right now, the number stands actually the night before at plus 130. It may move a little bit, but on the flip side, I'm going to piggyback off of Adam here. And again, I just think this is way too low. Bryce Harper, 1+ RBIs, 1+. All he needs to get is 1 RBI for plus 160. The guy was a machine today. And here's the thing. This is all about RBIs, obviously, are about opportunity. In this lineup, before the 5th inning, they have 5 runs and 7 hits. They weren't just home runs. These guys were hitting singles, doubles. Kyle Schwarber was taking walks. I mean, they are a very disciplined lineup, and there's going to be tons of opportunities for a lot of guys to score some bags. And I'll tell you, 1 RBI from Bryce Harper off of Cole Irwin. Are you kidding me? I mean, I don't know how much crazier we can get here, Adam, but this pricing is eventually going to catch up. But let's cash in while we can, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things, like, it's not always in his control because,
Right.
Who knows how many men are on base, but, like, 160? Guys, we talk about it all the time. Like, these are the bets that if they don't hit, I'm going to live with it. And they're not going to hit every day. It's baseball, man. Bryce Harper can go for 4 tomorrow. Who knows?
Exactly.
But you got to play the odds, and these are just too far to not have some interest in. You can't let these pass.
Yeah, these are gimmies. These are gimme bets for me. And ones that aren't gimme is I'll go right into a home. I'm gonna do is right, and I'm gonna tell you why. Here's why. So, Adam is very analytical with his work, and I love every minute of it. So I like to highlight that. I really love the prop market, so I like to do that as well. So, one thing I will do, I'm going to give out. These are the hardest ones to get. Adam knows that home run props are so hard to grab, but watching the game, my home run prop right now is going to be Matt Vierling to hit a home run at plus 600. Matt Vierling is a starting center fielder for the Philadelphia Phillies. I know everybody listens will be like, oh, here he goes to Phillies again. Listen, if you gave me a guy that's hitting the ball harder to a wall than Matt Vierling, please show him to me, okay? Because today he hit 3 balls that literally went to the wall that were screamers. So that tells me he's that close. He's that close. And again, he's going to face the same team in Citizens Bank Park, which is a bandbox. Okay. And he's facing Cole Irwin. I'm telling you right now, plus 600. I feel better than this about my Cedric Mullins home run prop the other day that didn't hit. So I'm going to go Matt Vierling, 1 home run, plus 600. And for the flip side, before I get to Adam's last bet, he is going to be my FFVP once again. He was 2,600 as my FFVP, had multiple opportunities. They just didn't fall. Okay, now he drops $100 to 2,500. He's going to be my FFVP bet, Vierling, because, again, this offense is going to continue to roll. Adam, Andrew McCutchen, you have over 1.5 total bases at plus 135. A lot of opportunities in that Brewers lineup, like we talked about earlier, right?
Yeah, and it was nice to see him hit cleanup opening day. I don't know if that's going to stick every single day, but I don't care. I know he's going to hit in the top half of that lineup. Is McCutchen as good as he used to be? Of course not. But for his career against lefties, 307 average, 406 WOBA, 244 ISO, and a 158 weighted runs created plus. Like, again, 135, an easy double in Wrigley Field. I almost said Coors again. Easy double in Wrigley against an inexperienced lefty. Like, this is one of the main reasons McCutchen is in that lineup is to smash lefties.
You're right. And listen, you're a Pittsburgh guy and I'm a Philly guy. We both had our run-ins with Kutch. He's a fantastic athlete, fantastic person, great player. I wish him nothing but success. And there's nothing like watching Kutch with those quick wrists and that, and that giddy up right out of the box, man. So I definitely liked seeing him back clean up as well. So that was definitely a good thing. But Adam, Listen, final thoughts, man, before we get out of here. It's a Saturday game. Saturday games, you got some 2:00 games, right? It's a 4:00. Then you got the nightcap. Any final thoughts for today on 4-9?
No, man. I mean, hopefully Vlad's coming up here in a couple minutes. I'd love to see him hit a home run and get Cano one more single and really clean up with the book today. But I think we're off to a pretty good start, trying to find our rhythm. Hopefully we're helping people not only here but in the Discord, and we got baseball all day tomorrow, so where I'm going to be.
Yes. Second, it's day 3 of the Masters. So we have that. We're, winding down NBA and obviously you have Sunday baseball, which is extraordinary. And we got to love it. Just FYI too, to everybody listening, just so you kind of understand what we're doing with this format. We're trying to get this the night before because we want to get, number one, we want to get you the early numbers because obviously when you talk about the prop market, they're going to change. You just heard some real ridiculously high numbers. Lock them in. Okay, that's why we call this the early lock, right? Lock them in because they're going to change. I guarantee you. But also just understand too that what we're trying to do to keep this show flowing. We're doing this kind of as a recorded show, even though it's live. So if you are commenting, what we will do is we'll get to those comments within the YouTube platform. So please stick with us. We just want to make this beneficial for both you and us as well, because nobody wants to listen to an hour of me and Adam talk. Okay, so we're trying to, we're trying to cut this down for everybody as well. But right. What I'll say is same thing, man. It's been great couple days. I'm looking forward to this weekend. I hope everybody continues to stay profitable. Looks like the props have been really well. DFS is going to be tough in the first couple weeks. It always is. Everything has to sort itself out between pricing and playing time. So, but as always, man, we're going to catch you back here, tomorrow for another episode, or maybe we'll be Sunday morning. We're not sure. It'll probably be Sunday morning. But you'll see us pop up. Just make sure you're hitting that subscription and the alert so when we go live here on YouTube. So everybody stay healthy. Win Daily Sports where you find us. Have a profitable day, and we'll catch you next time.